Welcome back to my channel.
Bing! Did she do better today? It sounded a little better today, guys. Okay, so we're reviewing for Unit 6. We're going to do a few review problems and then we're going to take the test. These problems are similar to the test problems as usual. Every time we review, we try to make our review problems very similar to test problems. If you're going to use your notebook, which you should if you've forgotten how to do some of these, we're going to start where we started in this unit. So we're going to start with these fractions where you have to cross multiply. So if you need a reminder, this is page 68. Okay, our first one is 5x, just kidding, 5 over x minus 1 equals 3 over x plus 6. So you cross multiply and then solve for x. So if you forget it, you're looking at your notes and seeing if you can remind yourself. I'm going to come walking around in a minute. This is from page 6-8. Okay, about 30, and then I'll remind you, and we'll try another one. Find your earring yet? No. 20. About 10. 5. 3, 2. Okay, we're going to take this 5 and we're going to multiply it across to the bottom right. So this would be 5 times x plus 6 equals, and we take that 3 and multiply it to the bottom left. 3 times x minus 1. You distribute those in, and you get 5x plus 30 equals 3x minus 9. Three x minus 3. Better? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to move these x's over here by subtracting. And I'm going to move this 30 to the right also by subtracting, because that's a positive, so to undo it we subtract, and that's a positive, so we subtract. We get 2x equals negative 33. Then we divide, and we should get negative, I think it's 16.5. Is that what you guys get? So when we have equations that are fractions, we cross multiply them to solve. So let's look at one that's slightly more complicated. We have, so this is number 2, 12 over 2x plus 3 equals negative 4. Now we solved this the same way. The thing that's weird is this guy is not a fraction. But we can make him a fraction. That's not too hard. All we have to do is put a line underneath the negative 4 and make its denominator a 1. So now what you're going to do then is multiply 12 and 1, and then multiply negative 4 to the 2x plus 3. Be careful that when you multiply that negative 4, you keep track of your negative signs. So do that step, and then I'll unfreeze and make sure that yours looks similar to mine. Well, I'll walk through once and then I'll unfreeze to see if we're on the same. You already did the multiplying. About 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so we should end up with 12 equals negative 8x minus 12. You're okay? Yes, no? Okay, I always move my letters to the left, no matter what the equation looks like. So I'm going to keep with that process. So to move this to the left, I have to add because he's a negative. So if he's a negative here, that means he's going to be a positive here. And then to move this 12 to the other side, I have to make him negative. So what I end up getting when I move my numbers and letters, I have a positive 8x on the left and a negative 24, just 24 on the right. Then what's your last step on this guy? Divide by 8. So that gives us an x of negative what? 3. So this is the first types of special equations that we learned. We cross multiply them to solve, and then we move the letters to one side and the numbers to the other side. So these are the two kinds that your test will focus on. Then we moved into radical equations. So now this is page 70 in our notebooks. This is page 70, and it's similar to our rationals. So our practice problem is going to be 3x minus 8 equals root 2x minus 2. So we're solving for x, but the trick is that we have to get them out of those radicals first. In order to get them out of the radicals, we square both sides. When we do that, our radicals just go away. So now it turns into 3x minus 8 equals 2x minus 2. And then this is what we just did on our rational equations. We're going to move our letters to one side and our numbers to the other. So you guys finish this one out and we'll check your answer. Roughly 20-ish. Where you going, Carly? Still looking for your earring? It's got to be here somewhere. About 20? $10? $5? 3, 2. Okay, I have x is 6. You move 2x over here, 8 over here, and that gives you x is 6. Let's try one more of these, but he's going to look slightly different this time. So on the left, we have the root of 5x plus 1, but this time it's just equal to a number. That number is 4. We're solving for x, and the process is the same. So if we are going to solve for x, we have to get rid of this radical first, which means that we're going to do exactly what we did on the last problem and square both sides. When you do that, the left-hand side of the equation is 5x plus 1. What is the right-hand side of the equation? 16. And now you have a girlfriend equation. So you're going to get rid of the friend first and then divide by the girlfriend. So you guys finish solving this one using the girlfriend method. Is that the blanket with Caleb's face on it?
Yeah.
Looks really good, guys. About 10 seconds. Appreciate that most of you guys are really doing this. 10. 5. 3, 2. So I get x is 3. Is that what you guys got? Okay, so that is the second kind that we learned. We learned rational functions where you cross multiply. We learned radical functions where you need to square both sides. And then we also talked a little bit about how you can use Desmos to solve equations. So plug this into Desmos and find your solutions. I'm pretty sure there's 2. So see if you can plug that into Desmos. I think that there's 2 equations. Or 2 solutions, I should say. Let's go maybe 30 more seconds just to hopefully get a few of you, a few more of you. Okay, so I'm going to start plugging mine into Desmos. What is happening here? Look how little my graph is. Okay, it came back. So to get a root, you have to hit on your keyboard here if it's not up. We're doing x plus 2 equals root 8x plus 16. So I see one. Let me zoom out and see if another one is anywhere. Okay, did you guys only get one? So it looks like our only solution is x is 6, because this line is passing through the 6 on the x-axis. So I thought that there might be 2. I was wrong. This is just x is 6. So you will have one problem on your test that tells you to use Desmos. Okay, we're almost there. We only have a few more problems. So then what we learned last time was inverse functions. So let's start with their graphs. If I give you a graph that looks like this, is the inverse a function? So what you do is you envision turning that graph on its side and doing the pencil test. So seeing if your pencil passes through 2 points. So you can just answer in your head, and you don't got to draw the graph if you don't want to. Is the inverse a function? What'd you say, Hugo? No. So if you turn this on the side, you get this weird E-looking thing. That definitely violates the pencil test. Okay, let's do another one. How's about... Okay, so think about that one. You would turn him on his side and see if he would pass the pencil test. Okay, what do you guys think? Function, yes or no? So this one, he's a trickier one, but he is a yes. This guy would pass the pencil test. Okay, let's do another tricky looking one. So just envision him turning on its side. Would he be a function? What are you guys thinking on this one? Yes. So even though this one looks like he's eventually going to go vertical like this, he never really does. He always is kind of moving out a little bit as you move down. So he really is a function. Usually it's only not a function when it looks like this, or like the crazy roller coaster. If it's not a function, it will be pretty obvious that it's not a function. Remember, you just got to turn it on its side though. So the other thing that we learned last time is how to find the equation for an inverse. So that's the last thing on your exam, and you actually do need to type in the equation. It's not multiple choice. You actually got to type it in. So the first one we'll look at, so technically this is number 6 or something. Y equals root 4x plus 11. And we want to solve for the inverse of this. So the first thing that we do is switch our x and our y. So we rewrite it as x equals root 4y plus 11. And now we have kind of a girlfriend equation. It's y's party. 4 is the girlfriend, 11 is the friend. But before we can move anything, we have to get them out of the radical. So this goes back to our radical equations unit where we have to square both sides. So what you end up getting on the left is x squared. And I don't leave the parentheses on because you don't need them. Equals 4y plus 11. And now you can solve it like a girlfriend equation. So 4 is the girlfriend, 11's the friend, which means we get rid of it first. So how do we undo plus 11? Minus. So we get x squared minus 11 equals 4y. Then how do we get rid of the girlfriend or the 4? Divide. And you divide this whole thing by 4. So if we're writing it on our paper, we get y inverse, or y to the negative 1, is x squared minus 11 all over 4. If you had to plug this into Canvas, what it would ask you for is numerator, denominator. In the numerator, you would type in x caret 2 minus 1, 1 with no spaces. And then in the bottom, you would put 4. So if you get one that's a fraction, it'll break it up into the numerator and denominator for you, and then you enter them separately. You're okay on that one? Okay, one more. I think I'm going to go one more page. So this would be 7. This is our last practice guy. I might be lying. I'm not. F of x equals cube root of x plus 5 minus 1. Do you guys want to try that one? Which one did we just do? Okay, yeah. You can try that one. There's actually one more after this, I lied. I swear there was one other one I wanted you guys to try. Where is it? I was going to have you do 2 inverse equations. Okay. So f of x is just fancy for y. So we're going to start with x equals cube root of y plus 5 minus 1. So far, so good? Okay. The trick on this guy is you have to move this 1 over before you can get rid of the radical. So we're going to add this 1 over and get x plus 1. And that is going to equal the cube root of y plus 5. So that one's trying to trick you because before we can cube each side, we just have to move that guy over. So then we get rid of the radical. By cubing, because there was a 3 here. And when you bring down your left-hand side, this time you have to keep the parentheses. And that equals y plus 5. So then the last thing you do to solve this is move the plus 5. How do you do that? Minus. So this one is x plus 1 cubed minus 5. If you had to type this into Canvas, you would do x plus 1 caret 3 minus 5 with no spaces. Okay, so on your test, you have 2 tries. Do you think this is enough to get you started? See how you can do? Okay.